Welcome back, everyone, to Beat the Game, and let's take a look at War Machine, understanding the mechanics of this character, and we'll go through it. We'll review the cards, we'll see what's good, what's not good, what can be improved, and how this character is, what is the idea behind this really fun character. So James Rhodes, in his alter ego, has a recovery of 3. He is a shield and a soldier, which is cool because there's not a lot of shield personnel. Also, he has an action, which I think is supposed to be. I wish they would have named it something like, I don't know, like experienced veteran or something like that. It's just something that would have make it cool, all right? But this says choose a War Machine card in your discard pile and shuffle it into your deck. Now, the thing is, it says an action, but there's no limit to it. But I think in the spirit of the game, it should only be once per turn, unless the developers say something else. Where no, you just shuffle all your cards back in, and then that would be crazy cool. But I think they kind of made a mistake here, so I think that's because it's just action and there's no limit. So technically, if you're a stickler for rules, it doesn't say that you can stop. So you just do it as many times as you want. Again, how many cards do you want to shuffle in? He's got some cool ones, like the targeted strikes and everything, so we'll see. And then he has a force response. After you change to this form, discard each ammo counter from your identity. All right, so he works with ammo counters. Recovery of 3, hand size of 6, 10 hit points. All right, not too shabby. Let's look at his hero side. War Machine. Now, the picture is really cool. I like the picture. It's in action with bullets flying everywhere. I like it. He's got a thwart of 1, an attack of 2, and a defense of 2. All right, so kind of like inverted Iron Man, except Iron Man has 1, 1, and 2. So he's a little stronger than Iron Man. He's a little tougher than Iron Man, but he's not as thwarty as Iron Man, which is fine. 1, 2, 2 they're okay stats. They're not the best, but they're okay. He's an Avenger and a Soldier, so that's cool. So the Soldier trait and the Avenger trait. So let's see if we find anything with Soldier, that can make some sense here. And he has the ability called Locked and Loaded. Response, after you change to this form, place 5 ammo counters on War Machine. Boom! Looking for this? Boom! I think that was pretty funny, because if you guys remember Age of Ultron, he's trying to do this joke about a tank and everything. So I think that was a cool callback to that. From the movies. All right, so there you go. So War Machine, from my play experience, and if you haven't seen, I've posted a few videos of like deck ideas, and then I've posted these deck ideas. And one thing I've learned with all my games with him already, which I have probably like 9-10 games with him already, is that he wants to flip. He is not a stay in hero form all the time. And now the reason why is because these ammo counters get depleted, and once they're depleted, it really, really hinders his ability to do some cool things. So that's one of the things I did notice. All right, so let's look at the cards that he has. So the first card that he has, it's called the Munitions Bunker. And a lot of people will say like, oh my God, that's the best card in the world. From the playthroughs I've been to, it's an okay card. It is definitely not a priority card. It is a fun card, but it is not the best. Munitions Bunker, it's a 2-cost support. It's a location from Shield, and it's an alter ego action only. Exhaust the Munitions Bunker and place 2 ammo counters here. So that can kind of like, you run out of ammos, you can kind of like, stock some up here, which is okay. And then hero action, exhaust the Munitions Bunker and move each ammo counter here to War Machine. Now there is some cool plays where you can just build these up. Like if you flip back and forth to alter ego, you can add 2 per turn, like so you get it on turn 1, you put 2. You flip down on your second turn, you put 2, and then you get 6, and then you can go to 8. But that really makes you want to flip flop, and then you can store this. And when you have like 10, 12 counters, you just flip, and then we'll see what he has. But then you just use all of them and bring down the villain in 1 turn, that's I think why everyone sees the combo. The problem with that is it's actually super slow. So as a priority card, this is definitely a priority number 2. Unless you're really going for the Munitions Bunker, then I really suggest you play Justice in that case. because you'll want to flip down. All right, so Munitions Bunker, it's an okay card. Another one of his upgrades and his weapon upgrades, which is very fun because it is a tech and a weapon. So hello, not Yonboard, but hello, mean swings and stuff like that. So these are pretty cool. So one is an upgrade. It's a missile launcher, tech weapon, just one cost, but that's cool. Hero action, it's an attack, so that means if you're stunned, you can actually just exhaust this and remove a missile ammo counter from War Machine, and then deal 2 damage to an enemy. This attack gains ranged, so that's cool. If the villain is retaliate, you can kind of slowly burn him using those ammo counters one at a time. So this is definitely one of his equipment. These are all the damage things, so he is super strong at dealing damage. So this is definitely a good card. I would say it is definitely a priority 1.5. If you get it, try to put him out. It's free damage. So anything that can deal damage for free is money. So there you go. So 1.5. Then there's 2 copies of this card, which is called the Gauntlet Gun, which is a 2-cost upgrade. And this is his resource generator of kind of like, what's it called there? Black Widow's gauntlets for preparations. So let's read what the Gauntlet Gun says. And there's 2 copies of this. It says it's a tech weapon, it's a 2-cost upgrade, and it says it's a resource card. So there's a big debate in the forum saying, oh, can I just use the resource and just exhaust it? Because all it says is exhaust Gauntlet Gun, and then there's an arrow. So just exhaust this. So there is no condition to the exhaust. But then in the rules reference, under resource, it says you can only use a resource to pay for something. All right. So there's where the things lie. So you can, and then it says generate a wild resource for a War Machine event and place 1 ammo counter on War Machine. So in this, so what people are doing is, oh yeah, you can overpay for, let's say, a go down swinging. Let's say one of the cards. You can overpay for Triskelion by 1 by exhausting this. I don't think it's in the spirit of the game. Again, you can feel free to do whatever you want. Again, it's when no one's going to be there and police you and be like, hey, well, you're doing this wrong. But again, you can do it how you feel. I think in the spirit of the game, it says you can generate for a wild resource for a machine event. So it's the fact that it adds an ammo counter. That's where it is. So there is ways to cheat that because he does have events that cost 1. But if you overpay by using both gauntlets, you can kind of net 1 ammo counter, and we'll see this in a second here. So the Gauntlet Gun, definitely a good priority card. It's resource card for his events, and he's got quite a few events. So Gauntlet Gun is definitely another priority 1 card, and there's 2 of them. So getting 1 on the table is super efficient. Then we have boom, the shoulder cannon, and that is such a fun one. That is where the Munitions Bunker combo kind of comes into play because of this card. So 2-cost upgrade, shoulder cannon, says hero action, attack. So this is an attack. So if the enemy has retaliate, you will be taking retaliate every time you activate this, which is kind of silly because it's a gun. But okay, whatever. I'm not going to discuss this too much at length there, but yeah, it's a gun, it's shooting. How is this not ranged? But that's just my opinion. So here's exhaust shoulder cannon, deal 1 damage to an enemy. You may remove an ammo counter from War Machine to ready shoulder cannon. So this one is very, very cool. I think this should be the first upgrade you go look for. Why? Because you have 5 ammo counters, and if you have nothing to do, you can always just... So basically, it's the first time you flip, it's 6 damage. So this card is every time you flip up and you have 5 ammos, you have 6 damage on the field just with this card. So that is super simple. And again, why the fact that you can flip down, control threat, then just go back up, do 6 damage, and just go in. And this is the combo piece that you can, use those munition counters on the bunker and then have, let's say, 15, and then you can attack 15 times in a row. Anyway, so if you saw some of the videos of the deck ideas, you can kind of see one of the deck ideas with aggression that I put up with this to make it sensical. So definitely shoulder cannon, priority 1 upgrade. Definitely want to get that into play. Again, it's super fun. The only thing it's kind of weird, it's not ranged. Well, whatever. I think or if it would have been ranged, it would have been just too good because you just like take out Armanzola and just laugh. All right, so there you go. And there's only one copy of this. And then his final tech upgrade, which is a 3-cost upgrade, which is called the Upgraded Chassis. So this is an armor tech. War Machine gains the aerial trait, which is very important if you're going to play him in protection to get those, that ready spell there. And it's a hero response after you change to hero form. Again, an indication that you want to change often with him. Exhaust Upgraded Chassis, give War Machine a tough status card. So that's a free tough for flipping. So, when you have those cards in protection, when you flip, you can pay 1. This card does it for free. So again, into the spirit of that, if you look at his cards, the designers want you to be flipping back and forth to be able to get the tough, like really feel invincible, like take on the boss's attack and just laugh it off because you're always tough. So that's why, again, the flip-flopping in my head, it just screamed, I gotta flip every turn or every other turn. All right, so that is the upgraded chassis. That is, again, it's an expensive one. So unless you have a double resource, I wouldn't. It's not the first one I'll play, but it does help you depending on the scenarios that you're playing. So it's definitely a 1.5. If you have this to play, it's not a bad idea because it's going to save you from a lot of damage. All right. Now let's take his ally. Actually, we won't talk about the ally right away. Let's talk about his events. So the first event, his is Thwart Event, and there's 2 copies of this in the deck. It's called the Targeted Strike. All right, so Targeted Strike, there's 2 copies. All right, and this says hero action, 1-cost event. It's a Thwart event, so there you go. So if you're confused, you can always use that to remove your confusion. Remove an ammo counter from War Machine. Remove 3 threat from a scheme. Now, what's cool is if you have those Gauntlet Guns, which was I talking about, is you can actually overspend. So you can spend 2 to overpay, and then you would generate an ammo counter. So that's one of the ways spirit in the game that you can actually generate some ammo. So Targeted Strike, again, remove 3 threat from any scheme is not bad. 1 for 3, super solid. The fact that you can pay it with something that you're going to keep on the table is definitely good. So these are extremely important, especially if you're going to fall into that mechanic. His alter ego action, this is 90% of the time that what I put back in. There you go. Threat control, threat control, threat control. And there's only 2 in the deck, so definitely you want to be putting these out as much as possible. The other one is another one with 2 copies of, and there's mostly 2 copies of everything, so all of his events have 2. And this is his Repulsor Beam, so 2 events here with cost of 1, same effect, same thing if you want to use the Gauntlet Gun. 1 cost event, Repulsor Beam, attack, says hero action, attack. Remove 1 ammo counter from War Machine, deal 4 damage to an enemy. So again, a lot of use the ammo, deal stuff with the ammo, very fun. But you're limited to 5, so that's why I really feel that you want to go back down, replenish, go back down, replenish. What if you look at his kit so far, most of it is damage based. So damage is gonna come easy. War Machine is a natural character that can deal out a lot of damage. You don't have to worry about putting damage events in his kit from what I see and from how I've been playing him. Damage events are very, very all you need is threat control, and then the damage will come. Threat control, damage will come, and then this guy is going to be super solid. All right, the next one that we have is a full auto. The full auto, there we go. There's 2 copies of this one too. Full auto it's a great way to just go crazy. So full auto says 2 cost event, attack, again another attack event. Hero action, remove 4 ammo counters. So if you have the 2 Gauntlet Guns, you only remove 2 of them. And from War Machine, and choose an enemy. Deal 8 damage to that enemy. This attack gains overkill. So that's what's really cool about it. It's an overkill, so you can go through a minion that's guard or something like that and just punch through that like a boss. So again, this is more of like mid-game, end-game. But again, if you have nothing else to do and you have 4 ammos and you're going to flip down, might as well just spend them and just deal a ton of damage to the boss. Why not? And then the final event in his kit is Scorched Earth. There's 2 copies of Scorched Earth in his deck as well. And this is a 3-cost event. Again, this is the best multiplayer card in the game so far. It's a 3-cost event. It's a tactic that says hero action, remove 3 ammo counters from War Machine, deal 3 damage to each enemy in play. This is the ultimate versus Green Goblin with all those Goblin Thralls. It's the ultimate versus Ultron. With if you're playing a 4-player Ultron game, you're bringing War Machine to the table now. You're just like, yeah, it's easy, man. War Machine and aggression with the Hall of Heroes, with the Scorched Earth, destroy everything in play. Oh man, that's just asking for goodies. So there you go. So that is a great synergy here. Scorched Earth is definitely one of the most powerful AoE cards in the game right now. There's nothing better than this, especially with any minion heavy scenario, any other scenario that just spams a lot of the mean stuff there. Jeez, it's crazy good. That card can easily do 100 damage if there's like just think about it, 3 damage and there's 20 minions in play on a 4-player Ultron game. That's 60 damage for 3 costs. That's crazy. That's insane. So they're definitely one of the most powerful cards in the game right now for AoE. And even if it's not Ultron drones, any minions, if you get a scenario, that card can get you out of a bind really fast. So there you go. So that's where the importance of having those ammo counters and keeping ammo counters on War Machine, and only kind of spend them all the turn before you flip down. So you kind of just have them just in case, and then you don't need them. Just go ham in, damage, flip down. All right, now let's look at the leadership cards that are presented in his kit. All right, so we have 6 new leadership cards. I'm not going to review the cards that we already know about, like the other cards. It's okay. So in his kit, we have a card called Go Down Swinging. It's a 0-cost event. It's a tactic card, so a lot of tactic cards in this thing. So tactics, so we might get some things that generate resources for tactics at some point, because it's cool. It's a tactic, it's a smart card. So hero action, discard an ally you control, deal damage to an enemy equal to that ally's printed cost. So I like this card, especially with the allies they give us. I think they give us Goliath, who can give a +5 attack. So he can attack for 5, and then he can go down swinging. So if he's not dead already, because of the consequence damage, so he attacks for 5, and then you deal 4 extra damage. So that's 9 damage. So that's pretty cool on one turn. So these are finisher cards. Like Go Down Swinging is definitely a card to finish a boss or finish a big minion. That's very solid. So Go Down Swinging is one of the new cards. I don't hate this card. I like it, but again, it's very situational, and it's very different because it introduces an all new way of playing leadership, where I think me and Brant from the portal called it Kamikaze Allies. So yeah, I think we cornered that market. It's basically the allies. They come in for one turn, do some stuff, and then get out. So, and they're out, they're dead. So Go Down Swing is a good new card on this. It's more situational, but I like it. All right, the other card here is called Save the Day. So this is a 1-cost event. It is another tactic card. All right, hero action: discard an ally you control. Remove remove threat from a scheme equal to that ally's printed cost. So again, using your allies as other effects than just blocking. So this is what this whole thing is done. Okay, we can use him for damage, we can use him for thwarting. I love the scene where it's basically Spider-Man on the ship from Homecoming. Very cool. Okay, so it's one of those it's one of those days, even on the card, as Spider-Man save. So again, it's a weird way to use these, because they introduced another card. So Save the Day again. It's a good card. It's a good thwarting card. It's a burst thwart in leadership, but again, it comes at a price. So again, do you want to use your ally to block, or do you want to use your ally to remove threat, like a ton of threat? And we have some really good allies that cost a lot now, 6, 5, 5, and in this kit they put a lot of good allies in there. So Save the Day, it's an okay card. This card is what is bothering me a little bit. Sneak Attack. So for 1 cost, it's another tactic card. It has an action. It says choose an ally in your hand that shares a trait with your identity. So in this, what's pretty fun is Avenger trait in its trait, and it's an action. So when you are here, you could actually cheat in Nick Fury because he is shield, and you could share the shield trait. So you can cheat in Nick Fury for 1, which is pretty good to draw you 3 cards. So that's where I see that's pretty fun. And I think the shield characters, oh no, that's just Natasha Ally, who's a shield spy. She's not. Anyway, so we got Jessica Drew, who's shield, and we got James Rhodes, who's shield, and I think there might be another one. I can't remember if Black Widow is shield or just spy on her alter ego. But yeah, so this is, I can always press pause and just go check. Let's see. Black Widow. Man, I haven't played Black Widow in a while. I can't find her. Scarlet, She-Hulk. Oh, there she is. Yeah, she is a shield. So she's also a shield and a spy. All right, so perfect. So then those 3 characters can actually cheat in leadership, Nick Fury, and then you can kind of make some combos with this. What it's bothering me is the deck kind of focuses on that in his kit, in his precon, and then it kind of wants you to cheat in, have the ability to do an effect, and then you kind of have to have the right timing for these cards to be effective. So therein lie my little iffiness where, yeah, it's cool if you have the sneak attack. I'm there, I come in, I save the day, or I go down swinging. Cool, you did a whole bunch of things for cheap, which I think leadership doesn't need it to be cheaper. I think it does really, really well. I think there's a few characters that will like it because it's cheap. So I'm thinking about You-Hulk, She-Hulk, characters with 4-card hand size that want to play leadership, like Thor, that you can maybe get some benefit out of this. But again, I think the benefit of having a free blocker outweighs the benefit of doing a little bit of an extra damage or an extra thwart. But again, that's just me, that's my playstyle. So this really goes against the playstyle that I am used to. But again, everyone's got their own thing, so people might see some extra good value with these. Now there's another debate that's going on here, and then I'll share my thoughts on this, and you guys can say whatever you want. And so it says here, choose an ally in your hand that shares a trait with your identity. Put that ally into play. If that ally is still in play at the end of the phase, discard it. So this is what people have been doing. There's okay, so I'll use my sneak attack, and then I'll find a way to get ready my, let's say, Nick Fury. I'll use Nick Fury, and then I'll bring him back, and I'll use him a couple times, let's say with 2 get readies, and then he gets defeated, and then I'll trigger rapid response, and then he'll come back, draw me 3 more cards, and then Nick Fury's going to stay because he's not the same. So there's a whole bunch of things in the rule books that say, well, they don't remember if it had other thing. So my big thing here, it's the event that says, if that ally is still in play at the end of phase, discard it. So it's the way it's worded. So the ally Nick Fury would still be in play. Why wouldn't I discard it? Because it's still this card that brought him into play. But then it got brought back into play. So again, that's the big debate here. You can choose to play it however you want. I'm going to choose that if I do sneak attack and do him 3 times and I have a rapid response, he's just going to go away. So I'm not going to play into that. I prefer this in the spirit of the game. But again, you're free to do whatever you want. It's your game. Play it how you want. That's just my opinion on that. But again, I could be wrong. But I feel like it's kind of weird that you could cheat this super combo. But again, it's not super combo because you need to put the rapid response. You need to have the Nick Fury. You need to have this. So there's a lot of moving parts. So if it does work, you know what? It works, and then yay. So it's just debatable. So to see if it's a cool combo. It's like I said, it's not a bad combo. It's a really cool combo. If it is legit, then definitely use that. Then I'll be a little sad that I didn't think about it myself. There you go. All right, so there you go. So those are the 3 event cards that are going in, and that's like that Kamikaze strategy here with these cards. All right, here we go. And then to go into that Kamikaze strategy, we have the Command Team, which is a 2-cost support. It's another shield card, all right, which is kind of fun, and it uses 3 command counters. So this is basically a get ready on a stick, and you can use it 3 times. So once, twice, 3 turns, over 3 turns. But there is no limit. So you can have 3 of these in play. So you can actually ready an ally 3 times. If you have, let's say, Yondu, who doesn't take any consequence damage, you can ready him 3 times in a turn. So if you build up Yondu that can deal like 18 damage a turn, that's super OP. But again, there's a lot of build up to that. So the Command Team is another great card for that kind of strategy. Sorry, got interrupted by my wife. So where was I? So yeah, again, so Command Team, really, really a fun card, a fun support card. Really helps this Kamikaze Ally strategy, because then you can just explode, have some really explosive turns here with the Command Team. All right, very cool. So again, if you want to do into that sneak attack crazy combo, here's one. If you have the 3 command teams and you're fighting something with retaliate, you cheated Nick Fury, you attack, you ready him with Command Team, you have your rapid response ready, you attack, trigger rapid response, bring back Nick Fury, draw 3 cards, get another rapid response, put it down, poof, draw 3 cards. But it's a lot of, it's just dumb, but it's not, it's just fun if it pulls off there really well. All right, so Command Team, definitely a very good addition to the leadership card pool. Probably my favorite one of this kit. All right, and then we have 2 new allies to present. The first one is Black Panther. So Black Panther is a 4-cost ally. It's T'Challa, so 2 thwart, 2 attack, 2 consequence damage on each, which I think that's a little much, but I don't think he needed the 2 consequence damage. He is an Avenger from Wakanda, and you may play the event attached to your Black Panther as if it were in your hand. So one cool thing is a response after he enters play. So not from he doesn't have to enter play from your hand. It's not after you play him from your hand. It's as soon as he enters play, choose a leadership event in your discard pile and attach it to him face down. So it can be anything. It could be team building, not team building, strength in numbers. It can be Avengers Assemble. It can be sneak attack, make the call. So there's all these cool combos that you can do with Black Panther and have some really, really fun times with. And then you can kind of combo the synergy. He's definitely weird for the price, but he's a good include in the strategy for the sneak attack strategy. I really like him in a Hulk build where you want to be able to save cards, so you can use that strength in numbers. You bring a Black Panther, get that strength in numbers back, it gives you another one, and then you have your Avengers Assemble. So this is really good if you're going to do the whole strength in numbers, Avengers Assemble, ready combo attack. That is a super, super solid ally for that kind of deck build. Definitely should include this in your deck builds if you're going to be going the strength in numbers route. Definitely my recommendation. Very, very cool. Again, he's a little pricey, but that extra, the fact that you can pull a card back is very, very cool. And again, if you have a way to recur him, you can kind of play on that mechanic over and over and just kind of recur that with rapid response, bang, go back, go get your Avengers Assembled, you have it for next turn. So there's way cool combos that you can do with Black Panther here. All right, so there you go. And then the other new ally that's presented here is Captain Marvel. Yeah, baby. So I think we have all of the core set allies, core set heroes as allies now, which is super fun. Yeah. So we have Captain Marvel, a 5-cost ally. So 2 thwart, 3 attack, 1 consequence on a thwart, 2 consequence on an attack, 4 health. She's an Avenger. She's aerial. So that is very, very cool if you like that aerial supremacy card in leadership there, where you can have a lot of aerial characters and have some fun. And then she... Oh, 1 second. All right, sorry about that again. So for Captain Marvel, okay, so she's an aerial. She has a response after she enters play. Again, enters play, not from your hand, because I know they were really careful with that with a lot of the other allies. But this one says discard the top 4 cards of your deck. If you discard a lightning resource, again, a wild is not a lightning resource. A lightning resource, you deal 3 damage to an enemy, and if you discard more than one, you stun that enemy. So 3 damage and a stun. So I was playing this wrong the first time. Basically, it's 3 damage to something and you stun it. But if you do 3 damage to a minion, you can't stun the villain too. So it's 3 damage and a stun on the same target. So that's one thing that I messed up, I think, in one of my plays there when I played it. I'll have to look again there, but yeah, I think that was one of the little mistakes that I made. Because you're like, oh, and also stun that enemy. So there you go. So that's pretty cool. So I like her as well. The fact that she's aerial, so if you're leaning into that aerial synergies, which War Machine can lean into as well with Wasp and with a lot of other characters that can go aerial, that's really, really fun. Again, team building exercise. If you have that, she's an Avenger, you're an Avenger, or you're aerial, she's aerial. So you can kind of chill. You can cheat that in with a team building exercise. So that's pretty good and fun ways to reduce the cost. And then finally, let's look at the last card that is presented, new card that is presented. 2 Against the World. Now, a lot of people are like, yeah, this card is just okay. It's not amazing. I think it's actually a really fun card. The fact that you can get 2 readies and a free upgrade out of it. So I think it's super solid. So 2 Against the World, it says 3 cost event, team up Iron Man and War Machine, max once per deck. It says search your deck for a tech upgrade and put it into play. Shuffle your deck, ready Iron Man and War Machine. So again, if you look at your, if you don't have there is 5 upgrades in your kit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Gauntlet Guns, the upgraded chassis. The best one to get is the chassis, of course, or a Gauntlet Gun because it's a 2 cost. But if you're playing Justice, you can go get one of those Sonic rifles. If you're playing if you're playing Aggression, you can go get the hand cannon. So there's all these other cards that you can include to go get some tech weapons, and always make sure that you have something to go pick up with that. So I think it's really, really fun. I like it. And plus you get 2 readies out of it. You ready your ally Iron Man, you ready your hero Iron Man. But the cost of 3, it does seem a little steep, but I think it's worth its price for what it does. So this is definitely a good include card in any War Machine build. And if you're playing War Machine and Iron Man, I think it's pretty fun as well, because then you can do both, and then you can still go get an upgrade. There you go. Now let's look at some of the other cards that are presented. So these are the bonus cards from the kit. So the first one is called As One. So these are the new cards that are presented for Aggression. So it's a 2 cost event. It is an attack and it has Alliance. That's a new keyword, and it's a hero action attack. Exhaust an Avenger character and a Guardian character. Deal X damage to an enemy, where X is the combined attack of those characters. This attack gains overkill. Now, this is what's a little bit weird about this card. Okay, it's an attack, so if you are stunned, you get affected. So that's going to counter that. But what's weird is it's an attack from you, but you don't have to exhaust your Avenger character. You can, let's say you have Hulk in play. So you have Hulk ally. You can exhaust Hulk ally for 3, and you can exhaust, let's say, Drax, who's got 3 on somebody else's table. So then you can do, bam, all of a sudden 6. Or if you have Hulk and Bug has, let's say, the, what's it called? The piercing thing there, the lightning spear. So then you can tap them both for 6 and deal 6 damage without them taking consequence damage and giving overkill to the attack. So it's kind of weird. Now the other combo with this is if you have a follow through, because it's technically an extension of you, so your follow through with that will actually give more. So you can actually have a bigger overkill. So I think there's ways to make this fun. I think I'm gonna wait till the Valkyrie pack comes out because there's gonna be a lot more aggression cards, and she's gonna bring a couple of new things to the thing. But definitely we're gonna be playing this with Brant and Brian and really diving into these alliance cards a little bit more. So I think I like it. So as one, it's an okay card. I like it. I think it's got some potential. The next one is the same alliance card, but it's in protection, which is called Stand Together. Now, it's so expensive, and if you're playing protection, this is the only card you're playing that turn. If you have a 4-card hand size or 5-card hand size, this is the only card you're playing in your turn. It's Stand Together. So I don't think this card is going to see a lot of play, but it is pretty OP. Especially against characters that can hit like a monster. Like I'm talking Green Goblin, Norman Osborn. I'm taking Drang. I'm thinking, what's the other guys there that can hit like a beast? Like Hela with all her things. When she has like 5 or 6, you can punch for like 5 or 6. Or I'm just thinking about the other one, the Collector, when he's on his 3rd scheme there. He's like, ooh, you're on your 3rd. He's like a 5/5 now. So those characters, even Ronin, if you play that guy, who attacks for 9 or 10 sometimes, this card is pretty OP. It's a hero interrupt, which means you can see what the damage is going to be first. When a friendly character would take any amount of damage from an attack, exhaust an Avenger and a Guardian, prevent all of that damage, deal that much damage to the attacking enemy. So this is a Omega counterpunch. So it's a counter strike, counter attack with a shield spell. So you take no damage, and the villain is going to be taking his attack. So if he's attacking for 8 or 9, he's taking 9 damage. So that is super OP. But again, I think it's going to be very situational on specific scenarios with specific villains that it's going to make sense, or else this card does not make sense. It's just way too expensive, aside that it's a lightning attack. It's a lightning card, but yeah, aside from that, it's super expensive. So it's going to be super niche, but the times it's going to get played, I think it's going to be pretty cool to see. All right, and then we get our new Justice card, which is called Vigilante Training, which is the last one we had was Protection Training or Defensive Training. This is a 1-cost support. Vigilante Training is a condition with max 2 per deck, uses 2 training counters, and it's an alter ego action, which in Justice, if you don't really care, you can go to alter ego all the time. And it says, exhaust this card and remove 1 training counter from it. Choose a Justice event in your discard pile and shuffle it into your deck. Now this is just OP because you can shuffle in your Lay Down the Laws. If you're playing Ms. Marvel, this is an auto-include in your Justice build. You can bring back those Lay Down the Laws. Then when you flip on the next turn, you have it in. You can, if you're playing Rocket, you bring back those Stealth Strikes. Man, there's so many good Justice cards that you can bring back with this. It's so good. And most of the characters in Justice, they want to flip a lot. So bringing back a Justice event, whether Lay Down the Law, whether it's something else in multiplayer, or even like Clear the Area, or One Way or Another. Just there's so many good cards in Justice that you want to bring back. It's just such an easy auto include, and for 1-cost support, it's money. It's so good. All right, and then the final card, oh my god, it's another equipment card. This is so good. So this actually makes most of these, the ally builds, like super ally builds, just cray. So this is 1-cost upgrade, sidearm, attached to an ally, max once per ally. There's no condition on this. It doesn't have to be an Avenger, Guardian, or anything. The attached ally gets +1 attack, and it gains ranged. So this gives Yondu's ability to everybody. So think about it. Black Cat in Spider-Man's kit now has ranged. So she's doing 2 damage with never taking consequence damage. It's just such an auto include in any build where you want to build up a specific ally or 2. It's just super easy. And it's our first ally upgrade in basic. So I think it's such a cool card. And I love the Punisher art on it. It just seems so badass. So there you go. Sidearm, definitely a great new card from this hero kit. All right, now let's take a look at his obligation and the Shadows of the Past cards that are going to be coming out, which if you watch my videos, they come out all the time. All right, equipment malfunction. So this is his obligation. It's not that bad. And again, it goes into the strategy I was telling you about keeping those ammo counters as much as you can until you flip down, because it says, give to the James Rhodes player. You may flip to alter ego form. You can exhaust and remove the equipment from the game. Easy peasy. Or you can remove all ammo counters from your identity, which that means you can stay in hero form and remove all the ammo counters. But if 2 or fewer counters were removed, this card is going to gain surge and discard this obligation. So if you have 2 on it and you remove them, you're fine. If you have 1 ammo counter, this card is going to gain surge. So as far as obligations go, it's not the worst. It's just okay. It's kind of like Groot with his counters. You have to remove some growth counters and stuff like that. So again, it reminds me a lot of that card here. But it's, again, a super easy card, equipment malfunction. It's not a card that you need to remove from the game. You know, if you need to stay in hero form, you're good. All right, finally, let's take a look at the Shadows of the Past. Your nemesis minion is the Living Laser. He is a minion with 1 scheme, 2 attack, 4 health. He is a criminal minion. He has quick strike, which is kind of annoying. But the worst part about him is Living Laser's attack gain piercing, and that's it. So he's got 2 boost on him. So it's not the worst card to get in. The fact that he's piercing, if you've already used, if you already just flipped, you get this as an encounter card. It's not that bad. You already lost your tough most likely from flipping. So I don't think this guy is a very upsetting nemesis minion. He's pretty cheesy. He's pretty cheeseballs as far as thing. He's on the low side of, oh, it's Living Laser. I'm like, okay. But funny enough, he did kill me in one of the games because I had 2 health. All right, so there you go. So Living Laser, again, not a bad guy, just a very easy minion. Deadly Light Show, which is pretty fun. This is a 3 pip card. It is a side scheme that says Living Laser is attack. Oh wait, no, it's hinder 1, so it's 3 plus 1, so it's not that bad. So it's 4, 5, 6, or 7 at the maximum. And when defeated, deal 1 damage to each identity. So that's the only thing that kind of hurts. If you have a tough, then it removes your tough status card, and it's 1 damage. It's like, and that's why you have that card called what's Emergency there? What's that card that nobody plays there? And that's why Warning is there, just against this card. If you ever needed a reason to play Warning, actually you don't. You don't need a reason to play Warning ever. It's one of those, just, it's a card. It's a card in your thing. All right, so Deadly Light Show, again, the fact that it's a crisis is a little annoying, but it's especially that he does have a lot of trouble thwarting, so it makes sense that it gives you a crisis. So it has to do with that. And then the final is 3 copies of this card. It's called the Laser Strike, so 3 copies of this. It's a treachery. When revealed, discard an upgrade you control, and if you cannot, it's going to gain surge. So again, he has so many upgrades, so it's just annoying to lose your stuff, especially if you're playing solo. And the worst part is it's a boost with 1 pip, and it says, if this resolves during an undefeated attack, discard an upgrade you control. So again, working it as a boost card, as a treachery card, or an event card there. So there you go. So War Machine, I think, is super, super fun. A lot of mechanics, a lot of things to understand. He's a fun damage hero. If you like large damage output heroes, this guy is gonna fit. He's gonna tickle all the right buttons. He's gonna push all the right buttons if you like to deal tremendous amounts of damage very early in the game, possibly, depending how quickly you find his shoulder cannon and stuff like that, because he can just put out some damage really, really fast, build him up, and if you have a little bit of luck on your side, you can keep all that stuff into play and just and really have some fun there with all his machine guns and stuff like that. So overall, it's a good hero. He's very good for solo. Multiplayer, I definitely recommend him in aggression because again, just for the damage output he can produce. And but for solo, I think Justice is very, very solid for him because he wants to flip down, and aggression as well is very solid. You just need to way to deal with threat. I think that is his biggest issue. Find ways to deal with threat, build him up slowly, and then you're fine. You shouldn't have too much trouble winning the scenarios, even on expert, with this guy. The damage is in his kit. You just need to find a way to remove threat. That is his biggest issue in his kit. So there you go. So that's my analysis. That's my breakdown of the cards, how they work, blah, 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 and everything. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you want to buy War Machine after this and see like, oh yeah, I really want to check this guy out and have some fun with him. So guys, keep on playing Marvel Champions. Take a look-sees at the videos to see how he can be played in the different aspects to maybe inspire you to, try something that you haven't tried before. And again, not going for the best decks out there, just going more for thematic decks when I build my, when I try to do my first run-throughs with these characters. All right, guys, so keep on playing Marvel Champions. Hope this video of War Machine will help you beat the game. Ciao, ciao.